It was a cold, crisp autumn night when St. Paul's Medical Center received an unusual call at 10:47 p.m. The phone rang, cutting through the hospital's quiet hum, signaling the beginning of a mystery that would grip the small town and never let go. The automatic doors opened, and a woman staggered into the waiting room. She was disheveled, trembling, her eyes wide with panic. She wore nothing but a hospital gown, pale and vulnerable. Her presence seemed out of place, wrong in every way. A nurse, noticing the woman's distress, approached cautiously. Before she could speak, the woman whispered, barely audible, "Help me, but don't let them find me." Before anyone could react, the woman collapsed. Her frail body crumpled to the floor like a rag doll, and the staff rushed to her aid. But before they could stabilize her, something impossible happened. She vanished. Completely. The only trace of her was a hastily scribbled note hidden in her gown. "They know where I am. Please, don't let them take me. There's nowhere left to hide." St. Paul's Medical Center was aging, tucked away on the outskirts of town, and often reserved for minor emergencies. Yet tonight felt different. The storm outside raged, casting eerie shadows over the building as the wind howled, adding to the tension inside. The woman was gone, vanished without a trace. No family came searching. No one had reported her missing, and she wasn't in any database. The woman had walked through the doors of the hospital, leaving a mystery behind her, but it was as if she had never existed at all. The next morning, the hospital staff, seasoned to the oddities of their work, were faced with something far more sinister. They had no answers. Who was she? What was she running from? And how had she just disappeared into thin air? The police were called in, but the case only grew stranger. No witnesses could provide a clear description of the woman. No one remembered her face, even though she'd been under their care for nearly an hour. The ER physician noted something unsettling. Her age didn't match her vital signs, and she appeared much younger than she should have been. The most chilling discovery came when they checked her fingerprints. No matches. Not in any national database. The woman had no identity. She was a ghost. Things took a darker turn when the cleaning staff discovered torn photographs in a discarded trash bin. The photographs were of a much younger version of the woman, smiling, surrounded by people in a completely different town, a place far from St. Paul's. The photos seemed to be clues to a larger mystery, but the woman had vanished without a trace. No one could explain her connection to these images, or why she had been hiding from something or someone. These weren't just pictures of a lost soul. They were a trail leading somewhere dark, somewhere far beyond the quiet town of St. Paul. Detective Carter examined the case with growing frustration. The woman wasn't just a missing person. She had been hiding, running from something. But what? A breakthrough came when Carter found more torn photographs. One showed the woman standing in front of a large, imposing house. The address on the back led Carter on a chase, only to find the property abandoned and overgrown. The house no longer existed. Carter realized that the woman wasn't just lost. She had been running from something, from someone. And now, there were questions he couldn't ignore. The case took an even darker turn when Carter linked this mysterious woman to a similar disappearance from 2 years ago, Sarah Taylor. The eerie similarities between the two cases raised more questions than answers. Whispers began to emerge. Residents who had stayed silent before were now talking, sharing strange sightings of shadowy figures around town. Some claimed to have seen the woman outside of town, in places she shouldn't have been. How could she be in two places at once? The mystery was deepening with every clue. As the investigation intensified, Carter uncovered more about the woman, Elena Pierce, the name he had found. But Elena wasn't just a victim. She had been created, experimented on. She had been molded for a purpose, and now she was the key to unraveling a dark conspiracy. One day, an anonymous package arrived at the station. Unmarked, unsettling. Inside, there was nothing but a single cassette tape with a chilling label. "This is the last message. The woman is not who you think she is." Carter's pulse quickened as he played the tape. A distorted voice filled the room. "If you're hearing this, it means you've come too close. You shouldn't have gotten involved. The woman you're searching for, she's not who you think she is. She's part of something much bigger. A system that goes deeper than you could imagine." The voice cut off abruptly, leaving Carter with more questions and a sense of dread. The answers were slipping further away, and the truth seemed to be something even more dangerous than he had anticipated. Determined, Carter returned to St. Paul's. The hospital was eerily quiet, the halls feeling oppressive as he walked through them. Dr. Linda Gomez, who had been reluctant to cooperate before, met him with a resigned look in her eyes. Dr. Gomez revealed something chilling. Elena was not just a random patient. She had been seen at other hospitals across the country, always disappearing under strange circumstances, and no one had ever connected the dots. She had been hunted by something much larger. Carter's heart raced as he pieced together Elena's past. She was a product of Project Havoc, a secret government initiative designed to create superhuman soldiers. Elena had been one of the first test subjects, but she had escaped. Now the people who created her were hunting her down, trying to finish what they had started. As Carter dug deeper into the case, his obsession with the truth grew. He couldn't stop. He had to uncover the mystery, to understand what had happened to Elena and the others involved in Project Havoc. But the deeper he went, the more dangerous the investigation became. The storm raged outside as Carter raced to find Elena. An anonymous tip led him to a secluded cabin where she had been seen. But when he arrived, Elena was already gone, disappearing into the darkness. The sound of a car's screeching tires filled the air, and Carter turned to face a chilling voice from the car. "You should have stayed away, detective." The woman had vanished again, but now something much darker was unfolding. The investigation was no longer just about Elena. It had become a battle for survival. The conspiracy was bigger than Carter had ever imagined. Carter's obsession consumed him. He had become entangled in a conspiracy far beyond anything he could have imagined. Elena wasn't just a missing person. She was a key player in a dangerous game. A game that was now targeting him. He had one chance to stop it, to expose the truth. As Carter tracked Elena to a cabin deep in the woods, he realized that the only way out was forward. The door was locked, and the shadows were closing in. His pursuit of the truth had led him here, to a final confrontation with the people who had created Elena and many others like her. In the cabin, Elena stood in the shadows, her face pale and hardened. She had been waiting for Carter, but there was no time for words. The storm outside intensified as the door slammed open, and a group of masked men entered. They had been tracking Elena for years, and now they had come to finish what they started. Gunfire erupted as Carter and Elena fought back, trying to escape the cabin. Ramirez, who had been caught in the middle of it all, was injured in the chaos. But in the end, it was clear. The people hunting Elena were part of something far bigger than a simple criminal organization. The facility where they were taken next was massive, cold, and sterile. It was the heart of Project Havoc, where the experiments had been carried out. Elena wasn't just a test subject. She was the catalyst for a new, dangerous world order. Carter, Elena, and Ramirez found themselves trapped in the heart of the conspiracy, fighting to survive. They had come too far to stop now. But the truth they uncovered was more dangerous than they could have imagined. The game had changed, and now the stakes were higher than ever before. As Carter and Elena fought their way through the facility, they came face to face with the leader of the operation, the man who had created Elena, who had created them all. But now the tables had turned. Carter wasn't just chasing a missing person anymore. He was fighting for the survival of everything he knew. "You've lost, Detective," the man sneered. "The program is already in motion. There's nothing you can do to stop it." But Carter didn't flinch. He had come too far to turn back now. The system they had built was about to fall. In a final, desperate move, Carter, Elena, and Ramirez confronted the man at the heart of Project Havoc. The system that had controlled them was crumbling. The storm outside raged, but inside the facility, the storm was just beginning. But no one could escape the shadows. The truth was just out of reach. And with it, the woman who had walked into St. Paul's Medical Center vanished once more.